around. There's people there still trying to come in. We can slide shoes, come on out. We can make a good horseshoe, have a circle. We want everybody to be welcome here today. Fire department guys, I appreciate y'all. Firefighters, so we're a family. Things like this. Come on in, we'll work our way around. You don't know who you're bumping into, you say, hi, I'm so-and-so. You're all right. Blessed be the God and the Father, the Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of all mercies, God of all comfort, who comforts us in our tribulation, that we may be able to comfort those who are in any trouble with comfort for which we ourselves are comforted by God. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. Those verses have been a rock house through me, through the valleys of my life. With the help of your prayers today, I pray that my words will be full of compassion. They'll be spiritually grounded. They'll be gentle. We're here to honor the life of Brayson, acknowledge the pain of the loss of a community, and offer real comfort, strength, support. Because typically a death affects a family, but when a young person passes away, it affects the whole community. We seem to take that hard. And while we're here today to offer comfort, be honest, I'll be reverent. I want to give you some hope, and most of all, without judgment. For friends and family that have traveled both far and near, Justin and Jody and the entire family, want me to say thank you for being here. You can tell what a special young man Bray was just by your presence here. It means a lot. Perhaps over the last few days, you've texted them, you put a Facebook message, you put a tribute on the wall. Those things will be treasures. And so thank you for taking time to do that. It means something. And I hope you take that to heart. We're gathered here this afternoon with hearts that are broken, carrying sorrow too deep for words. But let's not focus on the end. This is important. Let's not focus on the end, but how that life was lived. It's truly a celebration for this young man today. We've come to honor and remember the life of Brayson, a person we loved, we still love, more than words can express. We come not to define Brayson by the way his life ended, but to celebrate his life, the way he lived it, the beauty, the love, the laughter. I was told he had $1 million smile, and he wasn't jealous about giving those away. A lot brought into our world. In the Old Testament book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, the writer says it speaks to a time for everything. There's a time to grieve, but there's a time to hold on to hope as well. In this sacred space today, there's no wrong feelings. There's where tears are welcome, where questions are safe, and where love remains stronger than that. Psalms 34, verse 18, the Lord is near to those who have a broken heart. The words of the psalmist remind us that in our lowest, most broken moments, God is not far off. God does not demand us that we hold it all together. He does not turn away from those in grief. In fact, He draws near to us. To Brayson and everyone hurting here, recall that even Jesus wept when his dear friend Lazarus was about to be resurrected from the dead. Brayson Lee Woodruff was born August 11th, 2005 in Guyman, Oklahoma, to the son of Jody Wilson. He passed away in Sayre, Oklahoma on Monday, August 11th, 2025, at the age of 20 years. Brayson's known to his family as Bray or Bubba. He moved with his mother to Sayre in November of 2005. He was doted over by his grandparents, David and Joe Bray, and after his mother was married to Justin Woodruff, they began completing the steps for Justin to legally adopt Brayson. That was a happy day, I remember. It was on April 24th, 2009, that they, along with the rest of their family, stood at the Beckham County Courthouse not far from here and witnessed the legal adoption of Brayson. He attended the public schools for all 12 years. He graduated with a class of 2024. It was during high school that he attended Western Oklahoma Votech in the welding program. I only knew Brayson as a little guy. Life had taken me and I'd moved on to other ventures in life. But to see things in this obituary, to hear the things that you say, it tells me a lot about this young man. Welders are fixers, right? They fix things that are broken. Some welders are creative. They make art and things like that. They want to make it last. So I'm not going to give up on this. I'm going to fix it. And aren't you thankful people don't give up on us? He worked at various jobs, including welding, working for Justin, bless his heart, on the farm, and the family feed store to him. Country boy. I'm partial to country boys. I grew up as a farm hand, and you're not supposed to be prejudiced, but I guess I am, because I think they just walk a different beat. They're just good old boys. We need more good old boys. Brayson was working towards entering the United States military. Huge. How many young men, before they're 20, say, I want to go serve my country. I want to protect what we have here at home. I want to make sure my family's protected. I love my country. Willing to do that. It speaks volumes about a young man I wished I'd known better. In his spare time, he enjoyed playing video games. What kid doesn't? Grandpas like to do with the grandkids. Working on his truck, spending time with his girlfriend and friends as well as his family. He's preceded in death by his great-grandparents, David, Poppy, and Grandma Joe Bray, Elmer, Popo, and Imogene Momo Wilson. You see a running theme here? Bill and Corrine Manning, Lonnie and Peggy Woodruff. Brayson is survived by his parents, Justin and Jody Woodruff, two sisters, Preston and Riley Woodruff, all of the home. Grandparents, Becky Wilson, Susan Menace Dennis, and Rhonda Wilson. Ronnie and Linda Woodruff, two uncles, Carson Wilson and Sonny Green. Austin and Mia no longer, forgive me if I butchered that. One aunt, LaShonda, Kevin, and I'm going to mess this one up too. Gataki. His girlfriend, Zia Miller, and a host of cousins and other relatives and friends. Bow with me to a prayer, please. Our loving and merciful Father, as we approach your throne today in prayer, we acknowledge that we don't understand the lies and the reasons. And our hearts are heavy with sorrow. Today we mourn the loss of someone we cherished. We feel the ache of what might have been, the sharpness of dreams left unfulfilled. Yet even now, Father, We ask you to draw near to us. Be our refuge and our strength and our very present help in time of trouble. Help us, Father, to see through the mist and the tears, to know that you indeed do know what's best. Surround this family, Father, their friends here today, with only the comfort that you can give. Remind us that Bray was and still is held in your loving embrace, even now. Hold us all gently in this hour. Help us to find light in the darkness. In Jesus' name we pray.
Son, now where'd you learn to talk across Flint River Bridge, 100 yards from the spot where me and Grandpa fished. There's a piece of his old fruit stand on the side of Sawmill Road. He'd be there peeling peaches if it was 20 years ago. What I wouldn't give to ride around in that old truck with him. If heaven wasn't so far away, I'd pack up the kids and go for the day. Introduce them to their grandpa, watch them laugh at the way he talked. My long lost cousin John, the one we left back in Vietnam. Show him a picture of his daughter now. She's a doctor and he'd be proud. Tell him we'd be back in a couple of days. In the rearview mirror, we'd all watch him play. Yeah, losing them wouldn't be so hard to take if heaven wasn't so far away. I'd hug all three of those girls we lost from the class of '99. I'd find my bird dog boat, take him hunting one more time. I asked Hank why he took those pills back in '53, just to sing the second verse of me and Bobby McGee. Sit on a cloud and visit for a while. It'd do me good just to see them smile. Heaven wasn't so far away, I'd pack up the kids and go for the day. Introduce them to their grandpa, watch them laugh at the way he talked. Find my long lost cousin John, the one we left back in Vietnam. Show him a picture of his daughter now. She's a doctor and he'd be proud. Tell him we'd be back in a couple of days. In the rearview mirror, we'd all watch him play. Yeah, losing them wouldn't be so hard to take if heaven wasn't so far. If heaven wasn't so far. If heaven wasn't so far away. So far away. So far away. Looking back on the memory of the dance we shared beneath the stars above. For a moment, all the world was right. How could I have known that you'd ever say goodbye? And now I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. Holding you, I held everything for a moment. Was changed it all. And I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain that I'd have had to miss the dance. It's my life, it's better left to chance. I could have missed the pain that I'd have had to miss the dance.
those of you that don't know who I am, my name's Cody Walker. I'm more than a friend of the family, I am family. In talking to Justin and asking him what he wanted for today, he mentioned that he needed today to be a celebration of Brayson's life. Not a mournful time, but truly a celebration. I thought I got it. I was prepared. I sat down at my desk this morning, read through this 3 or 4 times, and I got it. Except there was a little incident that happened yesterday that I can't quite lose just yet. And in the spirits of making it light, I want to share it with you. I was talking to a gentleman yesterday and told him that I was speaking today. And he said, "Better you than me." He said, I don't know how you can do it. And I said, "I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to." And he said, "Well, just picture me naked." So now I've got this image in my head of Brandon Easter naked. And I'm really struggling with not only the mournful side of this, but the image that's in my head. And so if I start to break down here, guys, bear with me as much as you can. But let what I have to say truly try to be a representation of the legacy that Brayson left. I stand here in absolute honor today to be able to share the celebration of Brayson's life with you all. Brayson wasn't my friend, he was my family. And it's my hope that what I share today gives everyone in this room the opportunity to recognize Brayson's life is 100% worth celebrating. No matter how big or small we think that we are constantly changing the trajectory of the others around us. And I want to share how Brayson changed the path of a few boys. And when I'm done, I believe that his actions will change the thoughts and hearts of a few more. The legacy of a man is often viewed as the accomplishments that he's left behind. One's financial success, buildings built in their honor, or foundations created in their remembrance, all of which will one day perish. In the recognition of their perishing, I've realized the memories we carry of a man are the only thing in which we can actually hold, something that nobody can take from us. How we remember someone is determined by the memories we choose to hold on to and forgetting the memories that need to be forgotten. I've known Brayson my whole life. He's my family. Distant relation, but as close of a family as I could have. What comes with knowing someone your whole life is negative and positive memories both. Memories of the beginning, memories of the end. But it's the memories in the middle, the memories that are often overlooked due to the end product, but are always the memories reminisced about. I want to share with you one of my memories with Brayson, in which I've chosen to hold on to. Around a month ago, my commercial location needed to be mowed. With the amount of rain we had had earlier this summer and other priorities, the grass had gotten out of hand. It had simply run away from us, and it was overlooked to the point that something needed to be done. So I called Justin. I told him I needed to get that yard mowed today, and that I was headed there with a tractor. And that if he had a tractor available, I'd sure appreciate it. He sends me Brayson. I asked for a tractor, and I got Brayson and a tractor. I get there, I'm irritated, it's 104 degrees. I'm in an open top 3010 tractor, brush hogging knee-high grass, covered in pollen and dust. Brayson shows up and he's pissed just because he has to be there. After mowing for a bit, Josh Woodruff, my wife Kaylee, and my 2-year-old son Beckham show up. I get off the tractor, and it seems if they're mad, I'm mad, the whole world's mad. Hell, even the grasshoppers are mad because my 2-year-old's running around squeezing them, calling him a Bubba friends. And pretty shortly, here comes Brayson. He found his way into the circle. He's no longer mad, and his demeanor instantly changes the environment. I'll never forget the picture in my head. Brayson came around the corner of our shop. His eyes lifted up, His chest swelled. There was pure happiness that was beginning to well inside of him. And he looked at me with innocent eyes, begging for approval. And those that are close to him know exactly what I'm talking about. And he asked, "Can Beckham ride the tractor with me?" I instantly said yes. And for those of you that know Brayson, I instantly prayed to God to keep my son safe. And then God blessed me with an opportunity. I had the opportunity to stand in the shade of my business in the summer evening, watching Brayson and Beckham make circles in the dust, both with huge smiles on their face, riding the tractor. Every little boy's dream to ride the tractor. This room is full of little boys, some of which that are 80 years old at this point, that got to ride the tractor. This room is full of little boys, some of which are 40 and 50 years old now, that got to ride the tractor. This room is full of 20-year-old boys that got to ride the tractor. And because of Brayson, this room has a 2-year-old little boy named Beckham Joe that got to ride the tractor. Those of you that experienced what I'm talking about as a little boy, you fully understanding the lasting effects of what riding a tractor does to a boy. And for us men, the ones now giving the tractor rides to the little boys, we fully understand the lasting effect it has on us full-grown men. It turns a boy into a man and a man into a boy. The legacy one leaves behind is the memories we choose to hold on to. One can remember the beginning or the end, or one can focus on the journey in the middle. In the middle is where you'll find the real joy that occurred, the journey. My suggestion is to never let go of those memories in the middle, which I believe is where you find the true legacy of a man. Not how he began or how he finished, but the journey in which he walked. Justin and Jody, you have a community behind you. You have a family walking with you. None of us know what you're carrying, but you don't have to carry it alone. The amount of love I have for you guys and the amount of love this community clearly has for you is enough to overcome any situation. We are here when you need us. Call us anytime. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today. I hope I gave one good example of the legacy Brayson left with us, and a place for us all to center our focus on the memories in which we choose to hold on to. Brayson was a very good young man, capable of much more than his peers. He lived a life worth celebrating. The crowd in this room is very much proving of that. Obviously, he impacted many in a positive manner. Your son changed lives, and he will be deeply missed. Know my prayers are with you, and I love you guys.
changed your way of life. But you misread my meaning when I met you. Close the door and left me blind by the light. Don't let the sun go down on me. Although I search myself, it's always someone else I see. I just allow a fragment of your life to wander free. But losing everything is like the sun going down on me. I can't find the right romantic line. But see me once and see the way I feel. Don't discard me just because you think I mean you harm. But these cuts I have, oh, they need love to help them heal. Don't let the sun go down on me. Although I search myself, it's always someone else I see. I just allow a fragment of your life to wander free. But losing everything is like the sun going down on me. Don't let the sun go down on me. Although I search myself, it's always someone else I see. I just allow a fragment of your life to wander free. But losing everything is like the sun going down on me.
Good afternoon, and thank you for traveling to be here to celebrate the life of Brayson Lee Woodruff. I promise I'll try to be as brief as I can while I talk about some of the anecdotes of our lives about this. I like to call him a kid, but he's a man. He was a man. And we all knew him through various things. My name is Carson Wilson. Some of you might know me as Brayson's uncle, the Uncle Carson, as he would refer to me. A young lady called me that the other day, and I just thought that was pretty interesting. It paints this legendary image of me for some reason. I don't know why he thought of that, but I'm flattered all the same. I've known Brayson, well, since the day he was born. And most of my life as well. When Brayson joined us in 2005, I knew from the moment that I met that, for those of you that know, he was an angry looking little boy. He wasn't angry, he was about the happiest little boy you could have ever hoped to know. But I just knew right then, I knew that he'd be an old soul the moment I met him. Kind of how I'd been described as I was young as well. We shared a pretty deep love of video games and music and the adventurous spirit, and a deep love of learning. I focused on history, he focused on welding and mechanics and all of that. There's not enough vocabulary words for me to describe the character that Brayson possessed. But you all know exactly what I mean. I'm going to share just a few highlights about mine and his relationship to give you an idea of the lens that I saw him through. If I don't keep it to just a few, we're not going to be leaving until next week. I could gladly talk about the love he gave to his sisters, to his mama and dad, for his friends and relatives, and his awesome girlfriend Z. His helping hand with no expectation of anything in return. See, I was fortunate. I not only got to be part of his upbringing as an uncle, but I got to be his friend as well. It was my profound honor to be confided in as a friend. He was truly one of the best friends I've ever had. I don't know what I ever did to deserve this and to be loved by this kid, but I'm glad that I was. I think probably the biggest shared highlight of our relationship was our love of music. I introduced him to heavy metal music. I'm sorry, guys. Which I know a lot of you know. He listened to it at a deafening level. That might have been my fault as well. But he loved music of all sounds, from heavy metal to country to classic. He'd listen to a little bit of rap, everything. We'd often discuss at great lengths, our tastes, what he was listening to at that time, what I was listening to at that time. He'd often text me before he went on a trip, and he'd listen to it on the way there. And then sometimes he'd tell me, I didn't like that. Most of the time he was good though. One of my very favorite memories with him was 2019. At Christmas time, my sister had emailed me or messaged me if I would chaperone this kid to see Metallica. Man, when he opened his gift that year, he lit up. Oh my gosh, he was like a kid in a candy shop. And he turned to me and he started thanking me profusely. I'm standing there like, it wasn't me, it was your mom and dad. It took him a second to realize that it was from them and that I just got to chaperone. That was gonna be a tough one for me. The concert, for whatever reason, they had a comedian as an opening act. I'd never seen that in heavy metal. And I can't even remember what his name was, but I do remember the interaction. We were right up front and center to the show. And this comedian asked who the youngest person in the crowd might have been. And of course, all these people around us, they start pointing at us. They're all over us, they're pointing. And he came over to Brayson and asked him some questions, and he landed on him being there with his dad. Well, Brayson was quick to correct the man, and this guy rolled with it. He said, he's not my dad. As we were both dressed similarly, I can see how he thought I might have been. Similar glasses and all that stuff. It didn't take long for this comedian to seize upon this moment of asking, hey kid, if you need some help, I can call services. All of this is on the Jumbotrons, all around the arena. I've I've got to be bright red. I'm sure I was. And all that was going through my head was, I'm going to be arrested in Tulsa. Of course, the whole time Brayson is yelling at him, "That's my uncle. That's my uncle." Very proudly, too. This guy, he ignored him and just continued with his joke. Finally, he went to go pick on somebody else. And after him, Metallica was up next. He got to touch the band as they ran by. That's how close we were. And he was so happy. And the roadies or whomever came down and gave him a whole bunch of guitar picks. And he was ready to give them away to everybody around him. He gave me some. He gave the people next to us some. He gave the guy that passed out next to us from claustrophobia some. He was super proud of those picks, and I still have them. That was a pretty good day for a teenager, I think. That was a bonding experience that I'm going to cherish for all of the days of my life. Now, I know Cody had mentioned how much this young man loved and how hard he did it. This kid wasn't a weak kid by any means, and I don't think love shows weakness by any means, but he wanted you to know how much he loved you. You find that kind of hard for young men to show, but he was never afraid. Most of them want to seem indestructible. He respected his elders, his friends, and his family. He was, in just a simple word, a gentleman. There was a period of time when he'd come to see me for a week whenever I was caretaking for our grandfather, Popo. There were some good times there, from the trips to Brahms for ice cream, to hanging out in the shop and going to see his Papa and Nana, or Grammy and Susan with me in tow. He wanted to be with his family, all of whom he loved fiercely and loyally. He's the kind of guy that would throw hands real quick, especially whenever it came to his parents, or his sisters, or his family. He was one of the most loyal people I ever got to know. He taught me a lot about unconditional love and how to be a good man. Strange, I was supposed to be the one teaching him those things, and I suppose I might have had a hand in it. He just made everybody's lives better. Brayson was a steadfast friend. He had many conversations about his friends. He loved them dearly and would do anything for those kids. He always stood up for the little guy. I was always so proud that he tried to help people that were having a hard go at life. And then, of course, he loved his family. He was, from the very beginning, he really was doted on by all of his grandparents, including his great-grandparents. He was fortunate to be raised in Sayre, where he had not just grandparents, Linda and Ronnie, but a host of great-grandparents, like Poppy and Grandma Joe, or Town Pa and Peggy, and Country Pa and Corrine, to help guide and mold him into the man that he became. I told him multiple times just how lucky he was to know all of his grandparents, much less his great-grandparents. He even had a huge extended family, as already mentioned. He really loved spending time with his Grandma Joe, who had some really great friends. We've come to know them as the Yayas, Grandma Sarah and Old Nasty Jan. To say he was a lucky kid is an understatement. He was surrounded by people that loved him, and he loved them. Now, this is a little bit more recent of a memory. When I moved to Clayton, New Mexico, he wanted to get out for a little bit. He came to see his Aunt Sunny and me. We took him up to Mount Capulan Volcano, and we got to see a ladybug migration. They were everywhere. If you've never been during that time, I recommend. Afterwards, we traveled off to a place down the road in the middle of nowhere called Cold Beer. We ordered some pizza and had a great time. I don't know if you ever noticed this kid could eat. And he ate, and he ate, and he ate, and he ate. Anyway, I'll keep going anyway. But it was a neat one for me because it was his first trip to see me as an adult. One of the best traits of Brayson was his adventurous spirit. He was always ready to do and try new things, be it working on trucks, traveling, or learning new skills. He was always ready. One of those adventures was coming to Amarillo to meet Sonny and I at the Lego convention with his girlfriend Z, his brand new girlfriend Z. It was apparent early that he was wild about this girl. It wasn't a big trip or anything like that, but we got to spend time with them, and we went to Raising Cane's, and we complained about whether or not Raising Cane's was as good as Zaxby's or whatever. But it was a good chance to see where he was proud of his family, proud of his girlfriend, and just proud of who he was. One of my favorite pictures comes up in that slide where he was on my back. I gave him a piggyback. That's probably one of my favorite pictures of him. I promise I won't take up much more time, because I promise I would be able to keep talking for the rest of the day about him. Instead, I'll finish with something that his Uncle Austin wrote for him and for us. Lost in thoughts, wondering why, sitting here thinking about it brings tears to my eyes. At the age of 20, we have to say goodbye. This is too young of an age to be laid to rest, wanting to treat this like a game and hit reset. Though you are gone and will deeply be missed, our memories of you will always exist. So here soon we will say our farewell, but soon to see you as well. You are gone, but you will never be forgotten. So catch up with the family, learn all the stories, so we can all catch up and not have it be so boring. So when the time is right, we will meet again. We'll always love you, my dear nephew Brayson. In closing, I'd like to quote a dear friend of mine, something that has always stuck with me. Brayson was the best of us. He was the culmination of all of us, the people he learned from and grew with, someone we could all learn a thing or two from as well. He epitomized the meaning of the word decent. Thank you.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Miss the taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia,
early on, one of the early pictures, he had that big lollipop ring. Was that from the Dr. Seuss wedding, or was that a different one? We're gathered here to honor someone who meant so much to so many of us. Bray was a son, he was a brother, he was a neighbor, he was a friend to everyone who knew him. He was the one who showed up. Justin told me that he was loyal to a fault. The one who offered his hands, his time, his tools. Okay, maybe Cody's tools or Justin's tools. Or just his company. Always out being asked and never asking anything in return. Brayson was the kind of heart this world needs more of. He gave freely his energy, his patience, his laughter, his kindness. He helped people move when no one else wanted to. He'd stop on the side of the road to help someone if they needed help with a flat tire. He was the kind of person who would drop what he was doing to come fix a fence or take some food to a neighbor who was sick or to mow a pasture for a family member. He gave his time and his energy to those who are autistic. A lot of high school kids say, let's run and have fun. It's not cool. He'd say, no, he's riding with us in the truck too. It speaks volumes about this young man. Doesn't matter how tired he was, he just helped. And that's what it was. And the silly thing about it is, he didn't do any of it for attention. He did it just because he cared. Because he knew what it felt like to need someone. And he wanted to be that someone for others. He had a quiet strength you didn't always hear a lot from. When he spoke, it mattered. And when he smiled, that smile had a way of just making your day better. Even if yours had started out rough, and there's just something steady and true about him. My first memories that I can recall, he was just a little bitty fella. Grandpa would say, not knee high to a miniature billy goat. He wasn't just a couple months old. I saw him on Jody's hip. I miss to see the amazing young man he turned out to be. But I'm thankful you did. When I read the tributes, and for those of you who wrote on the tributes on the walls, listen to me, they're treasures. They're golden nuggets for this family, not only for this day, for years to come, that they will go back and read, and it will touch their heart in a good way. You love puppies. You can't be bad if you love puppies, right? What was the puppy's name? Leo. All right. But even more amazing than that, he just had this tender heart. I made a living reading people's faces, reading their demeanors for many, many years. And when you listen to this old preacher, because you watch how kids and animals react around you, say a lot about you. They've just got this extra sense, and you just pay attention to the ones that the kids and the animals come to. And it says a lot about when someone wrote on Brayson's wall that he was like a son or a little brother, and he rated my fruit trees. Boys will be boys. The fruit trees are good, right? We can't all be perfect. What's that? Tangerine?
Every one of my nectarines.
Nectarines, right? Nectarines are good. And she goes on to say that she had a dog that nobody liked and didn't like anybody. But yet this dog loved Bray. Someone wrote that he was a fine young man and he always had a hug or a smile for you. Listen to me. Don't be selfish with your smiles. Don't be selfish with your hugs. Hug your mother. I spent a lot of time as a master's level nurse in the mental health arena. And the psychologist that I work with will tell you that to be a healthy person, you need 12 hugs a day just to be healthy. When's the last time you hugged somebody? And we have that John Wayne syndrome, and I love John Wayne. I can quote the movie lines with you. I told you 50 years ago I love you, and it never changes. I'll tell you again. Don't be that dad. Hug your neck. You hug your wife's neck. You tell her you love her. You tell her she's pretty. You hug your children and tell them they matter to you. And if your mother's still alive, you go hug her neck and tell her thank you. Be a hugger. We need more of that. He brought smiles in the hardware store, someone said, and if he one day he's having a bad day, like sometimes we have bad days, right? We all do. He'd make sure he left the store with one. Be that person. Be a giver of joy. This old world needs it. I don't believe it'd be appropriate to tell you what my English teacher said about me. English and I did not get along. I was more interested in driving the tractor or going fishing. I didn't need all this education. But a sixth grade English teacher said he worked hard to be better all the time. Sixth grade, I worked hard to be better all the time. That's a lesson they will preach over and over again. Be better all the time. Do better all the time. Let's learn from this young man and keep his spirit alive. He loved music, loud music. He loved trucks. Justin said he could have had his own truck show. He loved helping people, making laps on the tractor, with a child. That touched my heart when I did that. I don't look that old, right? And amen's the right answer. I've got a daughter on her next birthday is going to be 40. And she will still tell you today, I'm a John Deere guy, by the way, but I was working for this man, and he had an old International 1086. And she'll tell you today that she'll get her Barbies and jump on the back seat of that, ride in that picture window, and we'd share a jug of tea till lunchtime. She loves them. So take your boys, make laps. Take your girls too. He carried a lot, more than most of us ever knew. Sometimes the ones who give the most are carrying the heaviest loads themselves. And though we may never really fully understand the depth of what Brayson was facing, we know that his life mattered. It mattered deeply. He touched so many by your presence here today. And even though he's no longer physically with us, the impact of his kindness and generosity and his presence will live on through you. Listen to him. He was more than the way he left us. The thousands and thousands of little moments he gave others. A friend who never hesitated. The man who helped when it wasn't convenient. The souls who loved deeply. Justin asked me to speak to you on this. And it's hard. It's uncomfortable. It's messy. We give it such a negative aura when we deal with mental health issues. The last 10 years or so, the cycle's starting to change. We're working as a cycle nurse. There's demons and battles that we fight that most people don't know about. The psychologists that I work with will tell you that 7 out of 10 people in the United States struggle with some form of mental illness, some more so than others. And Justin said, please stress this. We got to have the conversation. And if you're dealing with mental illness, it's going to be over and over and over again. You got to have a conversation. And you got to have those hard conversations. And not just kick the can down the road. Because it matters. Every child matters. If we can get anything from what Brayson told us, let's have a conversation. Because he didn't want Brayson's, I'm sorry, I got Brayson, it's Brayson. He didn't want his death to be in vain. we could all learn this valuable lesson. Mental illness is invisible. It can make even the strongest person feel like they're drowning in silence. Bray fought bravely from an early age, and when even most of us never really knew the full weight of what he was carrying. If there's one thing he'd want for us now is this: to look out for each other, to speak up, to listen, to reach out, even when it feels hard. His story reminds us of how connection matters and how desperately we need to be there for one another. And although his life ended far too soon, it was not without meaning. It is and always will be thankful for you being here today. To grieve, to laugh, to love, to remember, and most of all, to celebrate this beautiful life. To the community, I'm going to change from the family and I'm going to go to the community for a little bit. Because I told you early on, whenever there's a death of a child, a young person in the community, it affects the whole community. In a few minutes, we're going to go back to normal, whatever normal is. But this family, they have a hole in their heart the size of Texas. And life is going to go on. And we're going to see the first birthday. We're going to see the first Thanksgiving. We're going to see the first deer season. We're going to see the next time we go cut the next hay crop. We're going to go next time to the tire store and he's not where he's supposed to be. And it's going to hit him like a ton of bricks. And it will over and over and over again. So you love them. You pray for them. You hold them up because they're important to me. I love these kids. I'm responsible for marrying them, so forgive me for that, but I love them. And if you don't know what to say, just sit there. Knowing that you care speaks volumes. Sometimes we feel like we have to have all the right words to say. You don't. Just let them know you care. And it matters. Abraham Lincoln said, in the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's a life in years. It sounds like there was a lot of life in these few years. We'll close with this poem. It's not mine. I didn't write it, but I took the liberty to change a few words. And I hope that it touched your heart. And I hope that you will be this person today and every day thereafter. So this one's for you, Bubba. It's called A Helper's Heart Lives On. You had a smile that made you feel like things would be okay. The kind of soul who'd drop it all just to help you through your day. You didn't need a thank you note or praise or fancy prize. Just lending hands and honest work was how this young man touched their lives. He loved the little quiet things, the sunset after a rain, the laughter of kids he loved, and the back roads wide and plain. He showed up strong and steady, no fuss or need for show. He left behind him a trail of good wherever he would go. If you were stuck, he found a way to lift you up somehow. A joke, a ride, a helping hand, he'd be there now and then. And though he's gone from where we stand, his light is shining still. In every act of kindness done with a heart, care. So let's not just remember him. Let's be the way he was. Kind and giving, full of life, and loving just because. For every time we lend a hand or make someone feel strong, we keep his beautiful soul alive. The helper's heart will live on. Well, how important that is. Each of us have the power to make a difference, a positive difference, in those lives we come in contact with. I pray that you'll learn from this young man and keep his memory alive by carrying on the torch. There's no way you can say all the right words for 20 years, for a man who means so much to a family that's very near and dear to my heart. So I'll close with this. Stay for a few minutes, Justin said. He would like to visit with all of you. He's not in a hurry to get out of here. He and Jody are both appreciative for you being here today. And it's not like a traditional service. This is a celebration of life. And in his words, it would be a party with the music of that. Hug the family's neck. Tell them something positive. Thank you for being here today.